Hi, jewels and gems. Welcome back to another episode of I Own, where I make jewelry and we talk. Today, I'm going to be repairing these earrings I made a while back. So, let's get to it. I'm gonna start out with explaining to you guys how these earrings came to be. A family friend of mine bought these earrings a while back when I was doing one of those little seasonal markets. She messaged me and told me her earrings broke. She told me she stepped on them with a ski boot. And of course, since I made them, I definitely want to fix these for her. These earrings are made out of clear quartz and some blue silk thread. Very easy to make and very quick to make. The other half of this earring looks untouched, unworn, and unused, so I'm just gonna do the half that broke. I just gotta find a gemstone that was the exact size in its replacement. So wish me good luck. We're gonna start out with the basics. I started making jewelry around 2020, and I think that's when everyone found their niche and found their hobby. When COVID hit, we were all told to stay indoors, not go outside, not mix and mingle with each other, so all we were left to do with was find things to do, distractions around the house, and my distraction was jewelry. Around my age, my mom was big in jewelry. She also had her own jewelry brand and design. She also called it I Own. Me and my mom have the same middle name, so I thought it was perfect for me to revive this idea. And to revive this idea, I needed tons of supplies. I always knew my mom kept a bunch of her beaded supplies around the house, in the basement and in the attic. So where did I start looking? In those exact places. In the beginning months of my jewelry exploration creativity, I used a lot of my mom's old beads and supplies. But as I evolved and I grew, I decided to venture out into my own design, my own creation. A lot of my work now does not really resemble what my mom did at my age, but that's okay because we're two different people with unique styles. Although I do still have a lot of my mom's old beads and jewelry, I do from time to time draw inspiration from them. But let's backtrack a little bit. Back in 2020, I started out with doing a lot of clay earring jewelry. I started out with making little oranges, mushrooms, apples, pretzels, cosmic brownies, a lot of food. I did do other little things such as earths or other planets, but I loved doing cute little clay earrings. I also tried to do clay rings. I got a lot of inspiration from Pinterest. I love Pinterest. I hope you guys utilize and love Pinterest too. It has so many pictures and creativity. I love it. But besides the fact, I did draw a lot of inspiration from Pinterest with my clay jewelry. As I said, I did try to make clay rings. It did not really turn out right. I used polymer clay, and I think with the rings, they would just easily break, very flimsy. I tried to make them thicker, but that didn't work. Once I realized clay was pretty much good for earrings, I tried other mediums such as wire. I even today use wire as my sole medium. I love wire wrapping chains specifically. I started out with a lot of wire wrapped rings with a big center gemstone. I still sell and make those today if anyone is interested. So I started out with wire wrapped rings, and I worked a lot with seed beads. If you don't know what seed beads are, they're little cylinder shaped glass beads. Some are colored, some are lined with color, or plain clear glass. I use seed beads in my earrings, in my rings, necklaces, bracelets, waist beads, anything you could think of. I did like seed beads for a while, but if you look out today at my Instagram, my portfolio, my website, I'm not big on the seed beads anymore. While getting into jewelry, I did struggle a lot with trying to photograph my pieces. Do I include my hands? Do I take pictures of myself in my pieces? What should I use as my background? The lighting? I had a very hard time trying to figure all of this out. I would take pictures of my jewelry in my backyard while I held them, or I would take pictures of them laying on books, but then I got really nervous that my work would get taken down, or what if I got really, really popular really fast and blew up, and then the artist of that book came for me? A lot of paranoia and worry. But my pieces did look great laying across some words in a book. I kind of settled for taking pictures with a white backdrop, and again, just outside with piece in hand. I hope in the future I can get a team of models or friends to model my pieces and photograph them. I think that would be amazing. Throughout my years of jewelry making, it's been a long road trying to find my niche. As I mentioned, I began with clay jewelry, seed beads, still with the wire wrapping. I love me some gemstones. I think that is one of my biggest niches. I think one of the big reasons why I really like making jewelry is because I get to work with gemstones. Also, I can't forget that I can make my own jewelry. If I have an outfit in mind to an event or something I'm going to, I can easily make up a piece of jewelry to go exactly along with what I'm wearing, and I love that idea. No one else is gonna have that piece, no one's gonna ever see this piece. It's one of a kind, and I think that is one of the most rewarding things about making your own jewelry. It's also a huge stress reliever. Who else has a huge artist outlet? There's drawing, painting, coloring, sculpting, clay. There's so many different art outlets, and I'm really glad I found mine in jewelry making. Although we took a break in my origin story, I did just want to mention any advice to anybody who's starting out with any type of art form and wanting to make a business out of it. At first, my goal wasn't to make a business, wasn't to profit or make any type of money. I strictly saw jewelry as an outlet, as a hobby, and again, a way to distress. So, I do not have the best business skills when it comes to my jewelry. I realized people liked my work, so maybe I should make a business out of it. I would say for me, when I started out, it was a hobby. So when I transitioned to be more business-like, I definitely did not grasp the business concept. I did not budget. I do not prioritize projects. So if I were to do this over and start fresh, as what I am trying to do now, is budget. See how much you can spend and how much you are willing to spend on supplies of all kinds. What I do now is take money from my job and see what I can spare towards my hobby. I don't budget, but what I have been doing has been working for me. And also, any money that I make from making jewelry, as in getting a bunch of customers, I do use that jewelry towards my money. I use that money towards my business as well. Another thing I would change about converting a hobby to a business is to stick to one project at a time. From my experience and tons of other artists I witness online, is I tend to have a tendency of having millions and millions and billions of ideas in my head, one at a time, all the time. And it's great to have all these ideas, but the downside is you have all of these unfinished projects that pile up and get forgotten about, and maybe, just maybe, you finish 1 or 2 of those projects a month, but also starting 10 other ones. So since I've realized this little fault of mine, I've been starting to note down and keep track of all the projects I started and tackling them one by one till one is complete. Then I move on to the next. It's honestly not really hard at all. I think it's more rewarding than anything because I get a project done and I get to spend time focusing on one thing and not a bunch of things at one time. And another plus side is I save a lot of money that way by focusing in on one project at a time. I think those 2 things would be really helpful for me, if not for you. And I hope if anybody does think about converting their hobby to a business, definitely budget, definitely stick to a plan, and most importantly, don't lose interest in that hobby you fell in love with, because I don't think I'll lose interest, and it sucks to stress out over something that brought you no stress. So keep that in mind. We are now at the home stretch of almost finishing these earrings. Next and lastly, I just have to cure the one single knot on this strand of beads. Curing this knot ensures the metal closure is fitted, as well as the beads aren't going anywhere once these are worn. So once this glue is cured and 24 hours have passed, we are ready to finish and add the finishing touches to these earrings. Now it has been 24 hours later, and we're ready to put the finishing touches on these magnificent repaired earrings. First, I cut off that excess thread and then hook on the ear wire. And I can't forget to remove any excess thread as well as any glue residue that's left over. Thanks guys so much for tuning into my video and watching me for another week. I hope you all love what I do and love watching me do it. I hope you enjoy watching my evolution and my progression. I'll see you guys next time. And don't forget to subscribe and like my video if you'd love to see some more soothing sounds and soothing artwork from me. See you guys soon.